Hey everyone, Grant here for the Flame Learning channel. In this video, we take a quick tour of the color sampler in the Flame 2018 products. This tool works in all the players that offer the multi-view, and it allows you to analyze as well as store colors to be used in any tool across the application. You can use any media you like to follow along with this video. I will be showing the color sampler in batch to illustrate its functionality, but most of the operations are the same in the other supported players. When you want to access the color sampler, there are two ways to do so. You have a quick access color sampler and the main color sampler. The quick access functionality is used to analyze a single pixel color in your image extremely fast. Just hold Alt space for the color sampler pop-up window and click on a pixel in the image. The pop-up window will display the color information for the specific pixel. As long as you hold Alt space and click your image, the color sampler will continue to update with the pixel information at the center of the crosshairs. The color sampler only samples a single pixel at a time and not an average or a selection of pixels. If you are working in a color-managed environment, you can also tell the color sampler to display the working color space and the displayed color space. Call up the Flame Preferences menu and choose the User Interface settings. Under the color sampler header, enable Show Display CS Info. Close the preferences. When you hold Alt space and click in the player again, the quick access color sampler will show the pixel data for the working color space, which is the actual pixel color values, as well as the display color space, which shows the same pixel color values that have been influenced by the display transform. It's useful to have both in the color managed environment. So the quick access color sampler is a temporary pop-up for fast pixel analysis. If you want something more permanent with a bit more functionality, you call up the main color sampler. You can do this by ensuring the viewport is selected and click the color sampler button, which lives with the navigation controls for each player. So you now have a free-floating window in the player that is always on screen. You will also get a small red square in the middle of the player which samples the pixel color. Please note that even though this is a square object, it is still only sampling one pixel as indicated in the color sampler window. As you move the square, the color sampler window dynamically updates. Since the color sampler is part of the viewport tools and not the actual image, you can leave it on screen as you update the image. For example, if you scrub the time bar to another frame, the color sampler will update the targeted pixel. So this is very useful to monitor how a specific pixel value changes over time. In addition to this, if you switch to another clip in batch, the color sampler remains on screen and in the exact same pixel position. So you can compare this pixel value between the two clips. This is very handy to see how a pixel value has changed over a series of processes. The other extra functionality with the color sampler window is the ability to store pixel color. For example, just click the Add button. The color will be added to the custom color pots on the right. The working color space color will always be the color that is saved. This prevents issues with trying to manage the sampled colors as you use them elsewhere in a color managed environment. This custom color sample is now added to the Color Picker custom color pot, which means you'll be able to access this color when you're painting, color correcting, or even creating a new colored frame. So the color sampler has a whole range of uses when it comes to analyzing and storing pixel color. As a final point, please note that if you are using multiple viewports in your layout, you can only have the main color sampler window visible for one viewport at a time. If you wanted to sample a pixel in both viewports at the same time, as opposed to clicking the different clips in batch to update a single viewport, you could click the second viewport and hold Alt space and click on the image. This will bring up the Quick Access Color Sampler, and you could compare the values to the main color sampler. As a final reminder, the color sampler works in players using multi-view, and currently this does not include the text, stabilizer, warper, and sparks modules. Hopefully you'll find the color sampler a great addition to the tools in Flame. Be sure to check out the other features, workflows, and updates to the Flame 2018 products. Comments, feedback, and suggestions are always welcome and appreciated. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the Flame Learning channel for future videos.